I am coming at you today with something so special. And I will begin by saying that this was a discovery that I made, a very, very special one, when I went out for a jog and I came across a vintage shop that was tucked away in the lower level of the building. The only reason I knew it was there is because there was a sign on the street that said fronk, vintage shop. So I go in and I was having a morning. So I wasn't made up. Like, I was just out for a jog. I really did not anticipate this. I was not feeling great. I was trying to get some aggressive energy out. And I walked into this place and I ended up staying for probably 3 hours. Honestly, it was such a magical experience. The men who run this shop have impeccable taste and are two of the sweetest shop owners I've ever met. Oh my goodness. It was just a joy to be in there with them. And you can tell that they really love what they do. I feel like I've been in vintage shops before, and sometimes people can get a little holier than thou. Like, do you belong in here? I don't know. At least that's been my experience sometimes. But it just felt so welcoming. Not to mention that I really appreciated that they probably could charge a lot more for what they sell. But one of the owners, it's Frank and Austin are their names. One of them said that they want people to be able to come in and feel like they can walk away with something special. And I loved this so much. It really, like, how beautiful is that for people to be able to, access like really nice quality pieces of clothing and art. I just felt really moved by that. And so I wanted to make this video because I found something really, really special. Really, really special. And I'm going to share what it is, and I'm going to share why it means something to me. Like, my heart is already feeling, oh my gosh, moved. So here we are. Fronk is the name of the shop. It's in Bushwick. I highly recommend. And I haven't opened this yet since it's been bubble wrapped. It is a very, very special photograph. So now you get to see it with me. You ready? Oh, my friends. Look. Marilyn Monroe. A photograph of Marilyn Monroe, circa 1953. And just like, what a classic beauty. And I stopped in my tracks when I saw this. It was hanging by the dressing area. And it's just so beautiful. And she is so beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want that at my entryway. So it is also from the Mark Rubin Gallery in New York. It says, the Vintage Collection. Marilyn Monroe, 1953. These photographs have been rediscovered in archives, historical societies, and memorabilia auctions. After restoration, each photograph is hand-printed, sepia-toned, custom matted, and are available in beautiful wood or metal frames. Yeah, this felt like something that I needed to have in my possession. And so I cried when I realized that I was going to buy this. Yeah, I cried because I feel like I'm at the beginning of so much in my life. And what Marilyn has meant to me. What Marilyn has meant to me is like this vision of effulgent femininity that is so alive with erotic innocence And I wanted to talk about that a little bit today because I also have a confession to make. I have adored this woman for so long. When people ask what historical figure I would like to have dinner with, it's usually Marilyn. But my confession is that I have never seen, to this day, any of her films. I've seen clips, I've seen little bits of interviews with her. There's this way that I just feel this woman's heart, and I know enough about her story to experience her on this level that I don't know how to explain. I haven't been able to bring myself to watch her films, but what I realize is that actually this will be a really fun opportunity. At some point, I would love to create a reaction video while I watch one of her films. Probably start with The 7-Year Itch because it might be the most famous. Or A Gentleman Prefer Blondes, maybe. I thought to myself, how cool would it be to have a watch party even and have a bunch of women watch and we all sort of film the reactions and then have a dialogue about it afterward. What a woman to have been in the public eye and so sought after and so prized, and yet she felt so alone from what I have read and heard of her. And she died of an overdose at 36 years old. So sometimes I think to myself, if she were alive and had women who really had her back, who really felt her and felt connected to her and were sisters to her, what would that have been like? I think about that. Something else that I wanted to share about is that someone pulled together a collection of poems, intimate notes, and letters by Marilyn Monroe. It's in this book called Fragments. And I came across this book years ago, and I felt really curious about it because I look through and you can see these pages from her journals, where she has writing, scattered and sometimes messy, and it's just, sometimes a page just has one sentence on it, and I can relate. I literally have buckets of journals that I've filled throughout the years, and being a deeply feeling being a deeply sensitive woman, especially, is not an easy thing in this world. And I cannot imagine that it was easy for her. She had such a rich inner world that at that time, she wasn't fully able to communicate that. Maybe because of the overwhelm of just what the world saw her as, which was this massive sex symbol, right? And I just feel so honoring of her depth, and her mystery and her heart. Just such a sweet heart. And my goodness, this woman deserved the world. So thought I would read a little bit of something from Fragments. So she's talking about someone who sounds like maybe a coach of some sort, maybe an acting coach. She says, "In my work, I don't want to obey her any longer, and I can do my work as fully as I wish, since as a small child, intact, first desire was to be an actress, and I spent years play acting until I had jobs. I will not be punished or trying to hide it, enjoying myself as fully as I wish to. I will be as sensitive as I am without being ashamed of it. Trust, faith in the simple objects and tasks. There is nothing to hold on to but reality, to realize the present, whatever it may be, because that's how it is. And it's much better to know reality or things as they are than not to know, and to have few illusions as possible. There's this page where her only line is having a sense of myself. The only line on one of these pages. Can relate, Marilyn. I can relate. Sometimes you just gotta say the thing. I love writing as a medium. Writing has been tremendously powerful for me as a medium. Free writing, writing poetry, diaries, journaling about things happening in my life. Goodness, writing lists of things, all kinds of lists. Writing about the things that I want for my future. Writing desires, writing prayers, writing gratitude lists. It's such a essential aspect of my existence to write. I wonder that about Marilyn. She had someone in her life who was nudging her to write. I would have loved to see what kind of films that woman would write and write herself into. This one. So here's another piece, another fragment. She says, I guess I have always been deeply terrified to really be someone's wife, since I know from life one cannot love another, ever, really. She came from a challenging past, So Marilyn Monroe spent a significant portion of her childhood in foster homes and an orphanage because her mother suffered from mental illness and was unable to care for her. And Monroe never knew her father, who was not around during her childhood. Just have such affection for this woman who, channeled and held so much eros, so much life force, feminine life force, in a time where people didn't know what to do with that and pedestalized it in a way that I could imagine could feel alienating to a person. I think we still see that with the way that people sometimes pedestalize celebrities, and I just think to myself, they're human beings. They're just like anyone else, and they live a very different, very public life, but they're fallible and mortal and, deserving of dignity and compassion, just like anyone else. Such a sweetie. I would have loved to have had dinner with this woman and just feel her and enjoy being women together. And ask her what it was like for her. I would love to hear some of her poetry. I would love to know what her dreams and visions were for the future. I would love to invite her to know how inherently loved she is. I would have just loved being a sister to her, I think in that way, this portrait may serve as a reminder for me to see all women as sisters, to grant them dignity and love and listening, and that we are connected through the web of womb, through the womb field, I like to say. Something else I'd love to say is that I so believe in erotic innocence, that the life force that courses through us is inherently innocent, that our eros, like that which makes us human. And yes, it's connected to our ability to reproduce, but that's not all of it. It's such an important energetic part of it, right? Like our sex, our sexual appeal, our like yeah, our just what we emanate erotically, right? I think that people so fear that still. And it's so interesting because while it is still very feared, the sort of plasticized or ultra sexualized eros is still very seen in like pop culture. That is a form. That is a form of it. But it is not the whole story, right? That to me, it's like the people who are the most dripping with eros are people who are really deeply present with themselves. People who when you're around them, you feel them. You feel their presence with you, with themselves, with the moment. There's a quality there that is so delicious. It's so inviting. It's so magnetic. Being magnetic is not a performance. It is truly a beingness and a presence. And I wonder sometimes if Marilyn like had that. She just didn't have the proper support and community around her for her to be able to wield it in a way where she could fully receive herself as a woman. Like behold herself in this erotic innocence, in her feminine nature and biology, and like be in such appreciation of that. Experience the deep joy of that, the life-giving wellspring of like energy that is available inside of a woman's presence with that, especially when she has people around her who uplift that, who just celebrate life, who celebrate like the fullness of our expression, you know? I thought this might be a fun opportunity too for me to share something from a journal of mine. And I just found this one, one of so many that very funnily enough, I turned to a page in this journal, and this is from fall 2017. So what is that, 8 years ago? Yeah, 8 years ago. And I just think this is so funny because I was listening to Frank Sinatra before, and his song about Chicago. This journal is from when I was living in Austin from 2011 to 2018. And I turned to this page and it says ATX to Chicago to New York. I reference the song The Way You Look Tonight by Frank Sinatra. And I just think it's so funny. Nothing happens by accident, huh? I had this inspiration to put this record on yesterday, and I kept it in my record player and listened again today. Hearing Frank Sinatra sing and then seeing this song referenced in this journal, not to mention, wouldn't you know it, my flight to Austin, I have a layover in Chicago. So it's just kind of wild and magical. Who knows? Life is fun. God has a great sense of humor. So let's read a little fragment from my journals. I think this is a free write. I think this is just me spilling things out of my brain onto the page. The light, it fills me. Sweet angel, let it in. I let it. Him, stop me, stop my breath. And I said, wait, there's a bigger yes here. A big breath of yes. A sparkling, flashing breath of yes. A sparkling, flashing breath of yes. beaming through every cell of my being. Electric, electric, yes. I found it in the forest, running. I found it in this poof of light, color, sound, opening. I found, I was lost and found. Here I am now, wow. There is no wondering how it is. Sweet isness, sweet Isis. I am sweet, sweet niceness. Sweet angel wings. This is the thought heaven brings. This is how light rings. This is where it is all happening. This blank space, this empty canvas. It's no race. This is an inner atlas, a world map, inner world map, guiding me back to myself, guiding me into the endless well, summoning ancient spells. I drafted them in the forest there, in the ancient dewy air, in a time of no despair, just listening, sweet listening. There is an emptiness, a sweet emptying in the fullness of my imaginings. There is an eternal swing. Here lives the inner happening. I want peace. I am peace. I become her. She becomes me. And in this becoming, we are all set free. There is not yet free. It is remembering. This is how it always was, how it is always meant to be. The pathways to liberation, the passion, the pathways to liberation, the passion for exaltation is here for me. It is never ending. It is eternity, infinity, maximizing endless enormity, connecting always, always to the stars. Yes, the truth of who we are. Yes, the tears like oceans, breath of hurricanes, heartbeat like the blood of a volcano running through my veins. These pathways, these end days, they are leading somewhere new and unknown. Always here, 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 here. Shed your skin, shed your tears. Let your bones dry with those fears that have told you who you ought not be, invading this dream called your reality. It's all here for you, for you, for you, for you, all you, always you, always, in all ways you. The womb, the ancient room, the space from which all things come. Come, 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 O powerful one. Well, you know, the thing that I love about poetry is there's so much space. It is such a beautiful art form. It doesn't have to make sense to be poetry. It can be a pulling together of different ideas and images and feelings. And it can create an atmosphere in a way that just laying out the details of something, narrating what something is a way to understand, is a way to visualize and experience something. But the poetry that is alive in everything, if we just pull from what we experience of that thing and create art through our words in how we speak about it. I've always loved that about poetry. Poetry has always felt like a place for me to stretch and experience the profound wonder of being alive and witnessing the world around me and the worlds within me, seeking to make sense of it all, seeking to simply document it. Remember this first. I am my own. I am my own. I am my own. I belong here to me, myself, in this moment, in all moments. My solitude is precious. Oh, wow. If I can eat, I can write. If I can open my eyes, I can write. Fear of the page? Fear of the stage? Love of the page. Love of the stage. It feels so good to express. To express. Somehow, some way, 1,000 ways. One day, 1,000 days. An expressionist. That's what he called me. A he in a string of he's, reflecting me back to me. Well, well, wow. It has been too many days since we've greeted each other, dear pages. You're so loyal. Here for me no matter what. It's true. Whatever I feel, it has been my fear holding me back from expressing, expanding. Ah, the music. I feel like dancing. It's not just about the singing, dancing. It's the togetherness. It's the togetherness. The co-creating of something beautiful. Something moving, vibrant, exciting, enlivening, sexy. Ah, yes. Yes, yes, indeed. This is what I love. This is who I love to be, what I love to embody. No lonely, I'm lovely. And if I feel lonely, well, hello, gorgeous solitude. Relationship with self, my dear self. This is from September 2017. Strong on the inside, soft on the outside. Wow. Yeah, wow. Okay. So there you have it. What a beautiful piece. What a beautiful gift. So classy, so elegant. And my wish for women is to come to enjoy so thoroughly our own body, our own essence, our own expression, and to live from what's true, to create space to feel it all the sensations, all the emotions, the ride of life, and to create from that and to really understand our profound creational capacity, and that our eros is our birthright. Our life force is the power that runs the whole show. And so to be able to move with her, delicious. Absolutely delicious. I am so here for a world of turned on women, not just the in your face turn on, right? Although that can be a very important part of a woman's becoming and path, right? Like the very overt sexuality, which is such a natural reaction to having been stifled or kept small in some way around one's expression, or made to feel that it's wrong to be a sexual being, right? A woman being in touch with her erotic aliveness and letting that wellspring within her power her life, to be in conscious relationship with that wellspring of eros and the erotic nature of life, to be in relationship with it, to be in co-creational play with it. Oh, that is a delicious life. Like, women expressed and felt in the world from that place, to drop out of the realm of like judgment and to move through all of the fears continuously. This is not a one-time thing, right? We will go into judgment about others, about ourselves. We will experience fear around our expression. But to continuously like move through all of that and find this place within, this place that houses our erotic life force, and that it is so innocent. It is inherently innocent. When a woman touches that and lives from there, practices living from that place within her, that is a different kind of life. That is a different quality of life. And it is a sight to behold, such a woman. These are the kinds of women that I feel like, well, first of all, can feel so confronting for women or anyone who's not in touch with that for themselves, right? But for those who are able to receive such a woman, like, that is the Garden of Eden. This is what I say to my girlfriends. It's like when we're together, when women are together and nourished by our own aliveness and just in the field of life playing, it's like the Garden of Eden. It feels unlike anything else on the planet. Everyone wants to roll around in that. Men, other women, children, animals. Like, it is so beautiful. That is life itself, like the womb field between women who are really in touch with their aliveness and in approval of their womanhood, of their female nature and biology, like who celebrate other women in all shades and textures of the feminine. Oh, that is a different kind of life. It's a different kind of life. Every woman deserves that. Ooh. Wow. Autumn 2017, 8 years ago. Whoa. Oh my gosh, I was in New York. That's right. I came to New York in September 2017, and I got a poster that I put on my wall in my studio apartment in Austin, and it was a poster of New York City. It was a red, very classic kind of poster of the New York City skyline. And it was less than a year later that I moved to New York City. Oh, wow. Wow. That's amazing. Life brought me to Colorado and then Texas, and I was just following the impulses. But I came to New York in the perfect time, I feel. And I'm so glad that I got to be in Austin for those 7 years. That was important. But anyway, this is so lovely. Wow. A little like poem about autumn. Says, "Hello, autumn, we meet again. I recognize you by your wind. I was in New York City recently when you greeted me, grieving the loss of an imagined lover, carving space in my life for the fullness of another. We meet like the rain meets the ground, falling hard, but so soft, it barely makes a sound. Hello, autumn. You have arrived, not without a little sadness in your eyes. I was recently lying down in a lovely park, from dusk into the starry dark, wondering how others couldn't see the beauty that surrounded me. Hello, autumn, you have grown still, a testament to nature's quiet will." Wow. How lovely. You know, at the end of the day, I'm just so here for us to be present in intimacy with ourselves so that we may be in intimacy with others, to have coherence between the inner and outer, right? That what we experience what is true for us, and then we communicate that in whatever ways we communicate that directly, but also through art, through creativity, through expression. What is true in you? What is coursing through you that you wish to bring out into the world? What are the channels through which you want to express that which is within you? That it's here for a reason. I like to think of it this way. If you have a calling on your heart, if you have desires that just won't seem to go away, it is because God has placed them there. It is because that is your like divine DNA that you're here to like fully bring to life through the like intermingling with reality as a creator, as someone who is willing to channel and like be a conduit for what wants to flow through you. And this, my friends, is why I will always love the arts and always be an artist and always support artists and be a patron of the arts. Oh my goodness. To be a patron of the arts, to be an appreciator and a supporter of the arts. It's so beautiful. And even if one does not follow the path of being an artist, like as a vocation, that we are creators and get to bring creativity into the simplest of aspects of life, making a meal or creating a beautiful home, whether it is the most simple elements that have an elegance or a lot of color and a lot of play and a lot of plants and right, to like actually creating physical art, paintings, film, music, writing poetry. It's all here for you. And I'm excited to see what you do with it. So I think that's all for now. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this, I invite you to subscribe. I feel really, really excited for this journey, and I know it's just beginning. So